Alrighty, hey yo, what is up, Knights? Aegis Freak here, back with some more DFO Rush. This time on my Demon Slayer. Now, guys, a lot of things in this video, guys. This is after the I was about to say all-in-one. It's basically all-in-one part 2, but this is actually after the Guild Pact update, which you can see my UI and actually the resolution of this video in general. All widescreen, all awesome, all clear, everything good. Aside from that, guys, there's a lot to talk about with this class, so we're going to jump into it. First and foremost, you can see I do have the very gratuitous Deicide pet, who is one of two classes that I actually, of the female Slayer type, two classes that I actually bothered to get a petite pet for, which, you know, I get them for a lot of my characters, but generally only the ones that I respect to some degree, and obviously you can say that I respect this class. Surprisingly so. This is the last female Slayer class that I've tried out. I remember trying out, you know, I tried Dark Templar out when she basically came out. Obviously I tried out the Swordmaster and Vagabond, but I wasn't even planning on playing this character. So this is one of my newest characters on the account, and I loved her. I kind of fell in love with her. Kind of helped a lot, I would assume, because of the weapon. As we look at my gear, totally tattered gear here, but one thing I was able to transfer to her was this old Gracia family heirloom. It's level 76. You cannot get it anymore because it says old, obviously. And that was actually my weapon that I used on my knight, or I made on my knight, and I was able to transfer it over because it was old. If you don't know, the Transcendent Stones and such don't work on level 85 gear. In fact, I think it only goes up to level 80. So it was just a godsend that gear used to be level 76. And I was able to transfer it because it's old, and that's why it's on this character. And I've used it since level like 66, actually. Back over there, and I think it was, you know, in Speedboat area, kind of, Bonhoeffer. And I've been dominating with it ever since. And still, to this day, haven't even bothered upgrading it because this class is strong as shit, guys. So anyway, I'm showing you a few new skills right there. I just used them pretty much back to back. All of the new Deicide Second Awakening skills right there, awesome skills, and they kind of synergize well with all the awesome skills that she already had. And that's kind of why I like this class, guys. Honestly, it's the skills, as I just mentioned. Now, if we look at the skill tree, actually, it will be better to explain this, as I don't know why this is not max level. Yeah, there you go. You'll kind of see how this works. Along the left side, you'll have all the physical skills, basically, which is like not very many of them, but they have a relatively low cooldown, so you'll be spamming them. And then one other skill over here. And then all down the middle, you kind of have these like magical skills, which I don't have picked up. Have like this one right here, which I don't even use, you know. These kinds of things are just kind of alternate build paths right there. So obviously I picked up the ones that focus on your sword skills, which if you didn't notice, we are using a chain sword, which obviously, which is why it doesn't really matter what weapon type you use. I mean, you want to use the strongest weapon type because the Zombato, because you're using so many of your skills, but attack speed and such is not important. However, she could use a bludgeon if you get a really good one if you want. So just throwing that out there. Anyway, why do I like this class so much is because of the kit. Like I already said, the skills. This is not a class that focuses on a lot of basic attack, and I can't help but say that a lot of the female Slayers, Vagabond and Swordmaster, they do. They focus a ton on that. And here's a skill, one of my favorite skills. Summons these like clones that do the attacks for you, like 4 of them at once, and they'll use a random skill. Really awesome skill. In fact, if I was gonna farm an OB set, that's probably the one I'd get, is the one that buffs that skill up. So anyway, a lot of the classes for the female Slayer, they focus on basic attack strings, and you would assume that, you know, if you're gonna get an augmented weapon like this class, it would be the similar kind of thing. No way. This class is all about using the right skills in the right situations, and because the skills generally have a low cooldown anyway, you will have the skill that you need for that situation most of the time. In fact, you got new skills in the Second Awakening that even makes it easier for you. So right now, you know, I'm just going to use that because it's a good-ass skill for doing good AoE, and it could, you know, depending on which one's summoned, give you a lot of burst. This is a good skill to use right here because I can grab everybody and destroy them with a high damage skill. You know, stuff like that. You can chain your grabs together. I'm going to start grabbing them. Pull them together. I'm going to pull them right here to try to do some AoE. And you get the idea, right? It's just, you know, you have different skills for different situations. You can't obviously use them all the time. Like, for instance, Right now, like, I could use a long-range AoE type attack and then get fucking grabbed from downtown. I can do the same thing. I think I can't do the same thing, clown. The fucko. And I'm gonna try to super armor this as I do that right there, and he gets blown up. He gets blown up, man. Did you see how my clones like all went to him? That's why I want to get that OV set, by the way. Everybody always gets the OV set that buffs up the draw skill, which is this one right here, which doesn't seem like a very impactful skill, but when you only have a 2-second cooldown when you get the OV set, it becomes very impactful. But yeah, you can imagine there's a couple different ways you can go about that. Like I said, there's a little bit of variation with this class. There doesn't seem to be too many skills, but they do have different paths that you can go across, and I like that too. So, like I said, I just like the idea of having a little bit of, you know, using the right skill for the right situation, and you know, I think this class does that pretty dang well. Dang, that skill is really good though. I can't think of a situation where that wouldn't be good, actually. Get destroyed, massive burst. So, you get the idea. Now, obviously, the weapon is obviously helping me a little bit because of this, but, you know, I like her kit. There you go. I like her kit. So, that being said, we haven't shown off her first or second awakening, so I'll show that off. The first awakening is pretty nice. She actually turns into, after this animation, like a razor freaking demon. Did you see that? What the hell is that all about? Really high burst skill on that, and then we'll obviously show off her second awakening, which is, again, privy to most of the female Slayers' awakenings. It's going to be this flashy, nonsensical, crazy move. Unnecessary. There, didn't really show off another skill we have. I kind of do this lunge attack, and then I implant the demon on somebody. Speaking of demons, now we're bringing our demon claw into the fray, and then a big razor attack at the end. Crazy, stupid, flashy skill, but damage, actually, I don't know actually if it's actually stronger than the first or second awakening or not. So, if you want burst right there, that's the one thing I think that this class didn't have, is one really good burst move, and that right there is what was given with the second awakening, as a skill right here, the Gloom Strike, the Giga Slash. That is just one big nuke type attack, and I think it's a really useful skill. I'm not saying that she can't do a whole bunch of damage at once, but it takes a little bit of time. Like, for instance, this is what I want to get the OV set on. It kind of has a little bit of stipulations in that it's not... It can really burst people down, but there has to be more than one enemy in the area. And that's kind of some weird mechanic about it, because you summon these 5 or 4 ghosts, and they kind of disappear if there are not enough enemies on the screen. They won't use the maximum amount of the ghosts if there's only one enemy, for instance. It's just kind of weird. It's just kind of a way to reduce how OP that thing could be, I assume. But if there's a situation where you're fighting a boss and there's a lot of enemies nearby him anyway, I'm telling you, that burst will be unmatched by anything in this game. Like, I will say that thing will rival OV sets, kind of like the Swordmaster does all the time. So it's pretty massive, and I think that's the set I'm gonna go for anyway. So, and I am planning on getting an OV set on this character. It's one of those situations where I feel like, kind of like the Berserker, this class has a lot of inherent strength in her skills, and you'd get so much power just by getting OV sets for it, right? It'd be a matter of me upgrading my weapon, and then once I get the OV set, I'd be amplifying my skills to some absurd levels, you know? Like I said, we'd be summoning, at least with the OV set, I haven't actually talked about what it does, but, you know, it'd be reducing the cooldown on the singing with choreography, it'd be giving me more ghosts to spawn, as well as increasing the damage and stuff. So, it is just some sickening kind of burst, man. We're talking about, as I totally messed that. Get that poke skill off, get the stabbing thing going. I do actually like the fact that the grab skill that I just used right there, which obviously wouldn't have looked like a grab, actually does some ample damage even if you don't get the grab attack off. It'll do like a sizable burst. Usually when you get the grab, you kind of wrangle them and throw them all over the place to do more damage, but even if you don't, even if you aren't able to grab them and you only use it as a hit, say for instance the enemy can't be, like, the enemy can't be grabbed, you'll still do a big hit. Which I gotta say, honestly, there's too many situations where you play a class where if the enemy can't be grabbed, it just doesn't work properly, kind of like ground clicker or something like that. So it's nice to be able to just do the damage outright. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully I was able to show off a little bit of the Demon Slayer, or the Deicide. I gotta say I'm happy with making her, and honestly I really wish I'd have made her sooner. Honestly, she'd have been more geared than she is now, and maybe she would have had an OV set to show off a little bit more, but I'm happy with her. She's right up there. I think I like her the best out of the female Slayers, and she's right up there with the Swordmaster in terms of strength with the OV sets, I think. Okay, she's not that strong. Her OV sets are good, but not Swordmaster good, but, you know, something you might want to work towards. So, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. There's a little Demon Slayer, and I will catch you knights later.